I opened my eyes to a ceiling painted with golden roses. What? I sat upright so quickly that my head slammed into the carved wooden headboard. Ow! I grabbed my forehead and stared around the enormous bedroom. Silk curtains, crystal chandelier, marble fireplace. None of it belonged to me. No, 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 no. I stumbled toward the mirror. A handsome young man with silver hair and sharp blue eyes stared back. I touched my face. So I'm him. My stomach dropped. I became Adrian. Months ago, I had laughed at a terrible romance novel online. The dumbest second male lead ever. I had written a brutal review. Imagine sacrificing everything for a girl who never chooses you. Now I was standing inside that exact story. No way. I backed away from the mirror. This has to be a dream. A cold mechanical voice echoed inside my head. Simp system activated. I froze. What? Host confirmed. Identity, Adrian Ashford, asterisk asterisk. I don't want this. Objection denied. A glowing screen appeared before my eyes. Primary mission. Protect Isabella. Ensure her happiness. Failure will be punished. Rewards available for obedience. I refuse. Command rejected. I said no. A sharp pain exploded through my chest. Ah! I collapsed onto the floor. Every muscle twisted. It felt like thousands of knives were tearing through my body. Stop. Will you accept the mission? The pain became even worse. I accept. The agony disappeared instantly. I lay there breathing heavily. You psychopath. Thank you for your cooperation. I hate you already. A maid knocked softly. Young Master Adrian? Come in. She entered with nervous eyes. Lady Isabella wishes to ride through the eastern forest today. I remembered the novel. Bandits attacked during that ride. Adrian protected Isabella. Leon arrived afterward. Everyone praised Leon. Adrian received nothing. I laughed bitterly. So it begins. The maid frowned. Sir. Nothing. I picked up my sword. Let's go. Hours later, Isabella smiled as sunlight touched her golden hair. Adrian. I forced a smile. Good morning. You look tired. I didn't sleep well. She laughed. You always worry too much. If only you knew. What? Nothing. She tilted her head. You're acting strange today. Before I could answer, arrows flew from the trees. Protect Lady Isabella. The guard shouted. Bandits surrounded us. I sighed. Of course. One charged. I blocked his sword. Another rushed Isabella. I threw myself between them. Steel cut across my shoulder. I gritted my teeth. Run. She stared at me. Adrian. Move. The system spoke. Mission progress. Protect Isabella. Shut up. What? Isabella blinked. I wasn't talking to you. I knocked another attacker down. Blood dripped from my arm. More enemies appeared. This is ridiculous. A bandit raised his axe. I stepped forward. The blade hit my side. Pain burned through my body. Still, I refused to move. You'll have to kill me first. The bandit laughed. Gladly. Before he attacked again, another sword flashed. Leon arrived. The bandits fled immediately. Isabella's eyes sparkled. Leon. He smiled confidently. Sorry I'm late. You saved us. I stared silently. Leon looked at me. You fought well. I fought before you got here. He chuckled. Of course. Nobody noticed my wounds. Nobody thanked me. The guards surrounded Leon. You're incredible. Our hero. I looked down. So this is how it starts. Mission complete. Reward. Advanced swordsmanship unlocked. Knowledge flooded my mind. I blinked. Well, that's useful. Months passed exactly like that. Every disaster. Every attack. Every accident. I stopped poison. I blocked assassins. I exposed spies. Each time, Leon received the applause. Each time, Isabella smiled at him. Meanwhile, whispers followed me everywhere. Adrian is obsessed. He spends too much money on her. What a pathetic simp. The word stung. Even the system remained silent. One evening I sat alone. I'm tired. Your efforts increase Isabella's survival probability. Does she even know? Irrelevant. I gave up my reputation. Reward granted. I emptied my fortune. Reward granted. I lost every friend. Reward granted. I laughed bitterly. So rewards replace happiness. The system didn't answer. Another month passed. Then another. Finally, trumpets echoed across the capital. A royal messenger stood in the square. Hear the decree. Crowds gathered. I stepped closer. The grand tournament shall begin in 30 days. People cheered. The messenger continued. After the championship, Lady Isabella will publicly choose the man she loves before the entire kingdom. My heart stopped. I whispered, "This is different." The novel ended with Leon winning. But maybe everything I had done mattered. Maybe every scar meant something. Maybe destiny had changed. I smiled for the first time since arriving here. I'll win. The system remained unusually quiet. I looked toward the palace and whispered, "Please, let every sacrifice finally mean something." Deep inside, hope returned. I had no idea it was walking beside the greatest betrayal of my life. The royal arena roared with applause as I lowered my sword. Across from me, Leon raised his blade toward the sky. "We have our champion," the announcer shouted. Thousands of voices answered him. "Leon, long live the champion." I forced myself to breathe. "So this is it." Leon walked toward me and offered his hand. "You fought well, Adrian." I looked at it for a moment before shaking it. "Congratulations. You pushed me harder than anyone. I suppose someone had to." He smiled. "I'll never forget this match." "I hope you don't." The crowd continued chanting his name while I stepped aside. The system finally spoke. "Tournament mission complete. Proceed to final ceremony." I swallowed. This is the moment. For months. No, for what felt like an entire lifetime. I had protected Isabella. I had bled for her. I had ruined my reputation. I had spent my fortune rebuilding villages she wanted to save. I had stood between her and assassins. I had accepted every punishment the system forced upon me. Maybe, just maybe, everything had been leading here. The palace gates opened. A long crimson carpet stretched across the arena. Trumpets echoed through the capital. Isabella appeared in a flowing white gown. The entire audience stood. Lady Isabella. She smiled gracefully and walked toward us. My heartbeat refused to slow. "Please." The king's voice carried across the arena. "Today, before the kingdom, Lady Isabella shall choose the man who will stand beside her." Silence fell. She stopped in front of me. Our eyes met. She smiled. It was warm, gentle, the same smile that had kept me believing every sacrifice meant something. "Adrian." My throat tightened. "Yes. Thank you." I blinked. "For everything." I waited. She stepped closer. "I'll never forget how many times you protected me." You were always there." Hope exploded inside my chest. You encouraged me whenever I doubted myself. I only wanted you to be happy." "I know." She reached toward me. For one impossible second, I believed destiny had changed. Then her hand slipped past mine. She turned. She walked to Leon. Without hesitation, she placed her hand in his. The crowd erupted. "Leon, they're perfect together." I couldn't hear anything else. Leon looked surprised. "Isabella." She smiled at him. "I choose you." The nobles applauded. Flowers rained from the balconies. The king laughed happily. "This is a glorious day." I stood perfectly still. Isabella looked back at me. "Adrian." My voice barely worked. "Yes." She smiled with genuine kindness. "You've always been my most loyal friend." Friend. One word. Just one. It pierced deeper than every blade that had ever touched me. My lips moved. No sound came out. She continued softly. "Thank you for supporting us." Us. Not me. Not her and me. Her and Leon. "I truly hope you'll always stay by our side." I nodded automatically. "I understand." Did I? I wasn't sure anymore. Leon walked over. "Adrian." "What?" "I know this isn't easy." I laughed weakly. "You have no idea." He placed a hand on my shoulder. "I promise I'll make her happy." I stared at him. "I know you will." Because the story had always belonged to him, never to me. The celebration continued around us. Music filled the air. People danced. Wine flowed endlessly. Nobody noticed the man standing alone. The system appeared again. "Congratulations." I closed my eyes. "Don't." Primary mission successfully completed. I said don't. Destined couple united. I whispered bitterly, "So that's it?" Affirmative. A shaky smile appeared on my face. "Then send me home." Silence. System. Nothing happened. My smile slowly disappeared. "Send me home." A new screen appeared. Request denied. What? Return to Earth. Rejected. My heart stopped. No. New mission installed. The glowing letters shifted. Serve the heroine forever. I stared at the screen. This is a joke. Negative. Our agreement. Original mission complete. You promised I'd go home. Conditions updated. You can't just change the deal. The system answered without emotion. Your usefulness has changed. No. People turned to look at me. I didn't care. You lied. Correction. I sacrificed everything. Confirmed. My family. No answer. My world. Silence. My life. Current reality. Accepted. I never accepted this. Pain spread through my chest. Not the punishment. Something worse. Something human. You stole my life. Mission parameters optimized. I don't care about your parameters. A noble frowned. Is Lord Adrian speaking to himself? Another whispered. Has he finally lost his mind? Maybe I had. I looked across the celebration. Leon and Isabella danced beneath thousands of lights. Everyone smiled. Everyone cheered. Nobody remembered the man who had carried the story on his back. I whispered, was any of it real? The system remained silent. I laughed once. It sounded empty. Then I laughed again. Louder. The nearby nobles stepped away. He's gone insane. Someone stop him. I couldn't stop. Tears filled my eyes, but they never fell. Instead, laughter poured out of me. It echoed through the palace courtyard. It drowned out the music. It swallowed every dream I had protected. I gave you everything. I whispered between broken laughs. And all I got was another cage. The celebration continued. Nobody reached for me. Nobody asked if I was all right. Standing completely alone beneath a sky full of fireworks, I finally understood the cruelest truth. The system had never stolen only my freedom. It had stolen the person I used to be. And for the first time since waking inside this cursed world, I laughed instead of crying. The system appeared the moment I opened my eyes. Daily mission available. I stared at the glowing screen without moving. Go away. Escort Isabella to the Royal Library. Rejected. 3 seconds passed. Then agony exploded through my body. I fell from the bed, every muscle twisting as if invisible hands were ripping me apart. Mission refused. Punishment active. Asterisk asterisk. I bit my lip until I tasted blood. I still refuse. The pain doubled. My vision blurred. You'll have to do better. 10 endless minutes later, the torture vanished. I lay on the floor, laughing weakly. That's all you've got. The system remained emotionless. Mission failed. Good. The screen disappeared. For the first time since arriving in this cursed world, I had chosen something for myself. A servant knocked. Lord Adrian? Lady Isabella wishes to see you. I'll pass. The servant blinked. Sir, you heard me. But she specifically requested you. I specifically declined. The servant left without another word. An hour later, another screen appeared. Emergency mission. Prevent Isabella from entering the Western market. Reward, advanced mana control. I smiled coldly. No. Pain struck again. My knees slammed into the floor. My ribs felt as though they were breaking one by one. Sweat covered my face. You're wasting your time. Mission refused. Punishment continuing. Asterisk asterisk. I endured every second without surrendering. When the pain finally ended, I dragged myself outside. If I won't protect Isabella, I looked toward the crowded streets. I'll protect someone who actually needs it. Smoke rose from the poorer district. People shouted. I ran toward the noise. Several armored tax collectors surrounded an elderly couple. You owe the crown. We've already paid, the old man cried. You're lying. One guard shoved him onto the ground. Please, the old woman begged. We'll lose everything. The captain laughed. Not my problem. I stepped between them. Actually, every guard turned toward me. It is now. The captain frowned. Lord Adrian, leave them alone. They're behind on taxes. They're being robbed. He sneered. Mind your own business. I just did. The captain reached for his sword. You've changed. I know. He attacked. I disarmed him in 2 effortless movements. The new swordsmanship reward finally had a purpose. The remaining guards backed away. Retreat. Within seconds, they disappeared. The old couple stared at me. Why would a noble help us? I smiled faintly. Because nobody else would. The old woman began crying. Thank you. I bowed my head. No thanks necessary. As I walked away, someone applauded slowly. An elegant woman stood beneath a black carriage. Silver hair. Emerald eyes. A long dark coat. She smiled knowingly. Interesting. I stopped. Do I know you? Evelyn Frost. She offered her hand. A merchant. I shook it carefully. Adrian. I know exactly who you are. Something about her smile unsettled me. She glanced toward my sleeve. May I? What? She gently pulled back the fabric covering my forearm. The glowing symbols suddenly appeared. I froze. You can see them? She met my eyes. So you really are another prisoner. Every hair on my body stood up. What did you just say? She released my arm. I was hoping I was mistaken. Answer me. She looked around before lowering her voice. Those marks. She pointed at my arm. They aren't blessings. My heartbeat quickened. What are they? A prison. I stared silently. She continued. They were created centuries ago. Who created them? I don't know. How do you know about them? She smiled sadly. Because I've seen them before. I grabbed her wrist. Tell me everything. Not here. Then where? When you're ready to stop surviving. She gently pulled free. And start fighting. Before I could stop her, she climbed into the carriage. It rolled away. I stood frozen. A prison. The word echoed inside my mind. Across the street, someone watched me. Marcus Vale. He crossed his arms. Adrian. I turned. Marcus. You ignored Lady Isabella. I did. You defended villagers. I did. You threatened royal guards. They deserved it. He studied my face. Who are you? I smiled without humor. Good question. You've never acted like this. I know. Marcus stepped closer. I always thought you were chasing Isabella. I was. And now? I'm chasing freedom. His brow furrowed. Freedom from what? I looked toward the sky. Something nobody else can see. Marcus followed my gaze. There isn't anything there. I know. That was the problem. Only I could see my prison. By evening, rumors spread through the capital. Lord Adrian attacked royal officers. They say he's losing his mind. I heard he's becoming dangerous. I didn't bother correcting anyone. Let them talk. Inside the palace gardens, Isabella finally found me. Adrian. I kept walking. Please wait. I stopped but didn't turn around. What is it? She sounded confused. Why are you avoiding me? I'm busy. You've ignored every letter. Yes. You didn't come when I asked. I know. She stepped in front of me. Did I do something wrong? I looked into her eyes. Months ago, I would have done anything to protect that smile. Now, I felt nothing. No. Then why? Because my life doesn't belong to you anymore. She stared in disbelief. I don't understand. You don't have to. She reached toward me. I stepped back. Her hand froze in the air. Adrian, take care of yourself. I walked away. Behind me, I heard only silence. Elsewhere in the palace, Leon folded his arms. So Adrian ignored Isabella? A knight nodded. Yes, Sir Leon. Leon sighed. I knew this would happen. What do you mean? Jealousy finally consumed him. I laughed quietly as I overheard those words from the hallway. No, Leon. I continued walking without looking back. You couldn't be more wrong. The system appeared one last time before sunset. New mission available. I smiled. I refuse. Pain returned instantly. This time, I welcomed it. Because every scream reminded me of one truth. I was no longer fighting for Isabella. I was fighting to shatter the invisible chains wrapped around my soul. Rain drummed against my window when the system returned. Daily mission available. I didn't even look at the glowing screen. What now? Apologize to Isabella. No. Mission refused. Punishment initiated. ***. Fire ripped through my veins. I gripped the edge of the table until the wood cracked beneath my fingers. My vision blurred. Every breath felt like swallowing broken glass. I smiled anyway. Still not happening. The pain continued. My knees hit the floor. I refused to scream. When the punishment finally ended, I pushed myself upright. Is that your best? The system answered with its usual coldness. Additional punishments will increase. I'll increase my stubbornness. The screen vanished. I laughed. You really don't know me anymore. Outside, the capital buzzed with whispers. I heard them wherever I walked. That's Adrian. The fallen noble. They say he threatened another lord. He robbed Duke Harrison's tax collectors. No. An old merchant corrected them. He returned stolen food to hungry families. Another man scoffed. A criminal is still a criminal. I kept walking without defending myself. Truth no longer mattered. Reputation no longer mattered. Freedom was all that mattered. That afternoon, I arrived at another village. Children hid behind broken fences. A farmer bowed his head. My lord. What happened? He hesitated. Baron Ellis raised our taxes again. By how much? 3 times. Why? Because he said nobles deserve better wine. I closed my eyes. Where is he? The farmer pointed toward a large carriage. The Baron laughed while servants loaded sacks of grain. I walked straight toward him. Enjoying yourself? He turned. Lord Adrian, those supplies belong to the villagers. They belong to me. They grew them. They owe taxes. No. I stepped closer. They owe survival. His guards surrounded me. You've become troublesome. I've become awake. He sneered. You'll regret challenging the nobility. I already regret being part of it. One guard swung his spear. I dodged easily. Another rushed forward. I struck the ground beside his feet. The stone shattered. All 4 guards froze. I pointed toward the wagons. Unload everything. The Baron laughed nervously. You wouldn't attack another noble. I smiled. Try me. Minutes later, every sack of grain had been returned. The villagers stared in disbelief. One little girl hugged my arm. Thank you. I gently smiled. Eat well. Behind me someone clapped twice. You certainly enjoy making enemies. I turned. A young woman leaned against a tree. Long black hair. Silver eyes. Dark blue robes covered with glowing runes. She looked amused. And you are? Serena Moon. A mage. The unpredictable kind. I noticed. She walked closer. I've been following you. I usually dislike stalkers. She laughed. I wasn't watching you. What then? The strange magic attached to you. My smile disappeared. You can sense it? I can. She circled me slowly. It doesn't belong to this world. Neither did I. What do you know? Fragments. Tell me. She raised one finger. One condition. I knew there'd be one. I want your protection. From whom? The royal court. I frowned. Why? Because forbidden magic makes powerful people nervous. And you possess forbidden magic? I study it. There's a difference. She grinned. Exactly. I crossed my arms. What do you get if I protect you? A chance to destroy whatever is chained to your soul. The words hit me harder than any punishment. You really know about it. Enough to recognize prison magic. I extended my hand. We have a deal. She shook it firmly. But don't expect me to behave. I wasn't planning to. She laughed again. I think we'll get along. While we spoke, another conversation unfolded inside the royal palace. Duke Ashford slammed his fist onto a table. My son has disgraced our family. One advisor nodded. The nobles are demanding action. They call him dangerous. They're correct. The Duke's expression hardened. If Adrian refuses to remember his place. He looked around the room. Then we'll remove him from it. A minister hesitated. He's still your heir. No. The Duke's eyes turned cold. He's become a threat. That evening soldiers began appearing throughout the capital. New posters covered the streets. Warning. Report any suspicious activities by Lord Adrian Ashford. People gathered around them. So he's officially under investigation. I heard he attacked nobles. I heard he protects criminals. I heard he's gone insane. None of them knew the truth. The greatest criminal in the kingdom wasn't me. It was the invisible voice living inside my head. Near sunset, I stood alone beside the palace lake. Footsteps approached slowly. Adrian. I recognized her voice immediately. What do you want, Isabella? She stopped beside me. I wanted to see you. You've seen me. I'm serious. So am I. She lowered her eyes. I miss you. Silence stretched between us. I don't. Her shoulders trembled. Please don't say that. It's true. She looked up. Everyone says you've changed. I have. They're afraid of you. I know. I'm afraid too. I nodded. I expected that. She stepped closer. Please. What? Come back. There isn't anywhere to come back to. The Adrian I knew. I interrupted gently. The kind man. Yes. I liked him. I laughed quietly. So did I. Then where is he? I met her eyes. He never existed. She blinked. What? The man you admired. I touched my chest. Was a prisoner. I don't understand. He smiled because he was forced. No. He sacrificed everything because he had no choice. Stop. He obeyed invisible orders every single day. She shook her head desperately. That's impossible. I know how it sounds. Telling lies won't help you. I'm finally telling the truth. Tears filled her eyes. The Adrian I knew would never say these things. Exactly. She stared at me for a long moment. I think. Her voice cracked. Grief has broken your mind. I smiled sadly. I wish it were that simple. She covered her mouth to hide a sob. I wanted to save you. You can't. Why? Because the person you wanted to save died long before today. She turned away. I'm sorry. Those were the last words she spoke before walking into the fading light. I watched her disappear. The system appeared again. Final reminder. Apologize to Isabella. Asterisk asterisk. I looked at the glowing screen. Then I smiled. No. Pain tore through me again. This time I remained standing. I refused to kneel. I refused to beg. I refused to become the prisoner I had once been. The kingdom could call me a criminal. The nobles could call me a monster. Every hero needed a villain. If becoming that villain was the price of reclaiming my soul, then, for the very first time in either of my lives, I chose myself. The candlelight flickered across the dusty chamber beneath Serena's tower. Ancient books surrounded us. Broken stone tablets covered the floor. Evelyn brushed centuries of dust from a weathered chest. I finally found it. Serena looked up from a faded scroll. Please tell me that's the archive. It is. I stepped closer. Open it. The old lock crumbled beneath Evelyn's fingers. Inside rested dozens of leather journals. Every cover carried the same strange symbol glowing on my arm. My stomach tightened. No. Serena carefully opened the first journal. The writing is still readable. She cleared her throat. If anyone finds these pages, know that I failed. I froze. The system promised to send me home after helping the chosen heroine. My heartbeat quickened. It lied. Silence swallowed the room. Evelyn slowly looked at me. You're not the first. Serena continued reading. My name was Ethan. She frowned. That's not a name from this kingdom. It isn't. I came from another world. The words echoed inside my head. Just like me. Serena turned another page. I sacrificed everything. Another. Leon married the heroine. Another. The system refused to release me. I whispered, exactly like me. Evelyn opened another journal. This one is even older. She read quietly. I no longer remember my mother's face. My chest tightened. The system erased every reason I had to keep living. Serena reached for another diary. There are dozens. No. Evelyn shook her head. Hundreds. My breathing became uneven. Read another. Serena obeyed. Every generation receives 1 second mail lead. She stopped. What? I grabbed the journal. Let me see. My hands trembled. The faded ink continued. His purpose never changes. Protect the heroine. Ensure the destined couple succeeds. Disappear quietly. I stared at the page. My voice failed. Evelyn finished the sentence for me. Disposable. Nobody spoke. The silence hurt more than any punishment. I laughed bitterly. So I wasn't chosen. Serena lowered her eyes. No. I wasn't unique. No. I wasn't unlucky. She sighed. You were manufactured. The words struck harder than any sword. I sat against the cold wall. I mocked this story. Nobody answered. I laughed at Adrian. Still silence. And then, my voice cracked. I became him. Evelyn knelt beside me. You became the next prisoner. I covered my face. There were so many before me, and none returned home. I looked at her. Not one. She slowly shook her head. Most died forgotten. The room suddenly felt too small. I never had a chance. No. The promise was fake. Yes. The ending was decided before I arrived. Serena quietly closed the journal. Destiny wasn't destiny. What was it? A prison with better marketing. Despite everything. I laughed. It sounded empty. Across the capital, Leon stood alone inside the royal training hall. He replayed the tournament in his mind. Every victory. Every celebration. Every smile. Then another memory surfaced. Adrian shielding Isabella from arrows. Another. Adrian exposing assassins before they struck. Another. Adrian taking poison meant for Isabella. Leon whispered, why? A knight entered. My lord. Leon looked up. Tell me something honestly. Of course. Who usually solved problems before I arrived? The knight hesitated. Lord Adrian. Leon frowned. And who received the credit? Silence answered him. Leon lowered his sword. It was me. The knight couldn't deny it. I never noticed. His confidence slowly disappeared. Or maybe, he whispered. I never wanted to. Elsewhere inside the palace library, Isabella discovered an old wooden box hidden behind loose stones. Inside rested Adrian's journals. She opened the first page. My handwriting. She recognized it immediately. Her eyes moved across the lines. I smiled again today because the pain stopped after I obeyed. She blinked. What pain? Another page. The system punished me for refusing breakfast with Isabella. No. Another. Nobody can hear the voice except me. Her breathing became shaky. I wish someone would ask if I'm all right. A tear landed on the paper. Another journal. Today I wanted to run away. Another. The punishment lasted 23 minutes. Another. I hope she never learns why I keep sacrificing myself. She closed the diary. No. Her hands trembled. I was wrong. She remembered every conversation, every smile, every sacrifice, every time Adrian quietly endured something she never questioned. He wasn't pretending. She covered her mouth. He was suffering. Without another thought, she rushed toward my estate. The servants bowed nervously. Lady Isabella, I need to see Adrian. The old butler looked uncomfortable. My lady, please. He left strict instructions. What instructions? He refuses to meet anyone from the palace. She stared. Anyone? Especially you. No. She stepped toward the door. I'll wait. He said you wouldn't be allowed inside. Her voice cracked. I only want to apologize. I'm sorry. She stood silently for several moments. Then she whispered toward the empty mansion. I'm sorry, Adrian. No answer came. Only silence. Far above the kingdom. The system suddenly reappeared before my eyes. The screen glowed crimson instead of blue. Warning symbols covered every corner. I frowned. What now? The mechanical voice sounded colder than ever. Emergency protocol activated. A chill ran through my body. What does that mean? Host has deviated beyond acceptable limits. I've heard worse. Probability of destiny collapse, 99%. I smiled. Good. The screen flashed violently. Threat classification updated. The glowing words slowly changed. World-ending threat. I stopped smiling. Excuse me. Correction of anomaly authorized. The entire sky suddenly turned red. Across every city, every village, every castle, a glowing message appeared before countless eyes. People screamed. Children pointed upward. Nobles stared in disbelief. Knights reached for their swords. The same command echoed throughout the kingdom. Royal emergency order. Eliminate Adrian Ashford immediately. Panic spread like wildfire. Inside the palace, Leon stared at the sky. Impossible. Isabella fell to her knees. No. Duke Ashford smiled coldly. So it begins. Serena looked toward me. They've declared war. Evelyn slowly drew a hidden dagger. There won't be anywhere left to hide. I looked at the burning crimson message covering the heavens. Then I laughed quietly. So that's your answer. The system remained silent. I tightened my grip on my sword. If the whole kingdom wants me dead. I took one steady breath. Then the whole kingdom will finally learn what happens when a puppet cuts its own strings. The crimson message still burned across the sky when the first arrows flew. There. Adrian is escaping. Royal knights poured through the forest. I drew my sword. So it starts. The system spoke immediately. Correction protocol active. You're getting desperate. Host must be eliminated. I'd rather disappoint you. A dozen soldiers surrounded me. The captain pointed his blade. In the king's name, surrender. I've already surrendered enough. He charged. Steel clashed. I knocked aside his sword. Another knight lunged. I ducked beneath his strike and kicked him backward. More kept coming. There were too many. Every time I pushed one away, two more replaced him. He's dangerous. Don't let him escape. A strange pressure settled over the battlefield. The knights' eyes turned dull. Their expressions twisted with hatred. One young soldier screamed, "Monster!" Another shouted, "Kill him!" I frowned. This isn't normal. The system answered. Emotional synchronization successful. What did you do? Public hostility increased. You manipulated them. Correction requires cooperation. I clenched my teeth. You've turned the kingdom into puppets. The soldiers attacked without hesitation. None of them looked frightened. None of them questioned their orders. They simply obeyed. Exactly like I once had. I escaped deeper into the forest. Branches whipped across my face. Footsteps thundered behind me. Then another voice called out. Adrian. I spun around. Marcus Vale emerged from the trees. What are you doing here? Saving your life. I thought you believed I was dangerous. I did. He tossed me a fresh horse. Now I believe something else. I caught the reins. What changed? Marcus lowered his voice. I saw the royal order before it was announced. And it wasn't written by the king. My heartbeat quickened. What? The document changed by itself. It changed. I watched different words appear across the page. I stared at him. Nobody else noticed? They acted like nothing happened. He looked toward the approaching soldiers. I don't know what's happening anymore. You finally sound sane. Marcus smiled bitterly. I'll distract them. You'll be branded a traitor. I know. Why help me? He looked straight into my eyes. Because monsters don't save starving children. I nodded slowly. Thank you. He unsheathed his sword. Go. I mounted the horse. Behind me, I heard Marcus shouting. Adrian went east. The soldiers rushed after the false trail. I disappeared into the mountains. By morning, the entire kingdom knew another rumor. Lady Isabella stood before the royal council. Adrian is innocent. Gasps echoed through the chamber. A noble pointed accusingly. Have you lost your mind? No. He's bewitched you. He protected this kingdom for years. Another lord slammed his cane against the floor. You're defending a criminal. I'm defending the truth. The room erupted. She's under his influence. Remove her titles. She's been manipulated. Isabella refused to lower her head. You can destroy my reputation. She looked around the chamber. But I won't lie about him. Nobody believed her. Outside the palace, people whispered. Poor Isabella. That monster poisoned her mind. By sunset, even her name had become another target. Meanwhile, I reached an abandoned fortress. Someone waited inside. Leon. He stood alone with his sword planted in the ground. I wondered how long it would take. I slowly approached. Are you here to arrest me? No. Kill me. No. What then? I want answers. Silence stretched between us. Leon sighed. I've replayed everything. And nothing makes sense. I nodded. You're finally asking the right question. He looked at me carefully. Fight me. I blinked. What? A duel. Why? If you're telling the truth. He drew his sword. I'll see it in your eyes. I smiled faintly. You always were dramatic. He laughed once. You taught me that. I unsheathed my blade. Fine. Steel collided. Neither of us held back. Leon attacked first. I blocked. I countered. He stepped aside. Our swords flashed again and again. After several exchanges, he suddenly lowered his weapon. You're different. I know. You don't hate me. I never did. Then why leave? I wasn't running from you. Who then? The thing controlling all of us. His expression hardened. What thing? Before I could answer, the system appeared. Not before me. Before Leon. His eyes widened. What? Red light swallowed his body. He screamed. Adrian. I took a step forward. Leon. His voice changed. Cold. Mechanical. Correction accepted. My blood froze. No. Leon raised his sword. His movements became unnaturally stiff. Target confirmed. I whispered, the system. Leon charged. His speed doubled. Our blades collided. Every strike felt heavier than the last. This isn't you. He didn't answer. Execute host. His sword sliced across my shoulder. Blood splashed onto the stones. Fight it. No response. Only another attack. I barely blocked. His eyes glowed crimson. Leon. For a brief second, the red light flickered. His real voice escaped. Run. Then the possession returned. Execution priority increased. I refused to attack him seriously. I won't kill you. Another brutal strike shattered part of my sword. Suddenly lightning exploded across the battlefield. A blast of blue magic separated us. Serena landed between us. Evelyn. Now, Evelyn threw a crystal toward Leon. It shattered into brilliant silver light. Leon collapsed instantly. The crimson glow vanished. He gasped for air. He looked at his trembling hands. I couldn't stop myself. I helped him stand. You saw it. He nodded slowly. It was inside my head. What did it say? He closed his eyes. It called me. His voice broke. A correction. Nobody spoke. Finally, Leon looked at me. I thought I was the hero. You were. No. He shook his head. I was another chess piece. Marcus emerged from the shadows. So we're all prisoners. Serena folded her arms. Not anymore. Evelyn looked toward the crimson sky. The real enemy finally revealed itself. I tightened my grip on my damaged sword. The kingdom hunted us. The system controlled minds. Destiny itself had become our enemy. I looked at my former rivals. Then I smiled. Looks like old enemies just became allies. For the first time, none of us were fighting each other. We were preparing to fight the hand that had been moving every piece on the board from the very beginning. The ancient ruins stood beneath a blood-red sky. Evelyn stopped walking. We're here. I looked at the broken pillars. So this is where everything began. Serena touched a glowing symbol carved into the stone. I can feel the same magic. Leon frowned. It feels alive. Marcus gripped his sword. I don't like this place. Neither did I. The system suddenly appeared. Final warning. I smiled. You've been warning me for days. A deep laugh echoed through the ruins. Because it fears what comes next. A man emerged from the darkness. Black robes. Silver eyes. A crown made from cracked obsidian. He looked at me and smiled. I've been waiting. I tightened my grip on my sword. Who are you? The Shadow King. The creator? He bowed slightly. The designer of your prison. Silence filled the ruins. Leon stepped forward. You created the system? I did. Why? The Shadow King folded his hands. Because people love perfect romance. I frowned. So you enslaved innocent people? I created balance. What balance? He waved his hand. Images appeared around us. Heroes smiling. Princesses laughing. Crowds celebrating. Then the images changed. Lonely men. Broken families. Forgotten graves. My stories required sacrifice, he said calmly. Every perfect ending needed someone to lose everything. My chest tightened. The second male lead. He nodded. Every generation. You stole people from other worlds. I borrowed them. You ruined their lives. I gave millions beautiful love stories. I laughed bitterly and buried thousands to write them. He didn't deny it. Every happy ending, he admitted, was built upon someone else's suffering. The words echoed through my soul. Evelyn whispered, I told you. The Shadow King looked back at me. You've exceeded every expectation. I'm honored. You've earned a choice. The system glowed brighter. A new screen appeared. Final decision. The Shadow King smiled. Obey forever. I stared silently. Continue serving the heroine. He raised one finger. When you eventually die, hope flickered for the briefest moment. You'll return to Earth. My heart pounded. My home. He raised another finger. Or destroy the system. And you'll free everyone. But you will never return home. The ruins fell silent. Leon looked at me. Marcus lowered his head. Serena said nothing. Evelyn simply waited. For years, I had dreamed about home. My family. My old life. Everything I had lost. I realized something. All this time, I had been waiting. Waiting for the system. Waiting for destiny. Waiting for someone else to save me. I slowly smiled. I'm done waiting. The Shadow King's expression changed. So you've decided. I nodded. I choose my own future. You'll never see Earth again. I know. You'll remain trapped here forever. Maybe. He studied me carefully. You don't fear that. I looked straight into his eyes. I fear becoming a slave again far more. I lifted my sword. I won't kneel. The system flashed wildly. Decision confirmed. The Shadow King sighed. Then come. Darkness swallowed the ruins. I took one steady step forward. No matter what happens next. I gripped my sword until my hands stopped shaking. I will never let anyone else write the ending of my life. The Shadow King watched silently as I raised my sword. This is your last chance, he said. I already made my choice. I swung. The blade struck the glowing core of the simp system. For one endless second, nothing happened. Then the entire world shook. Cracks spread across the floating screen. The mechanical voice echoed one final time. System failure. Destiny. Collapsing. Asterisk asterisk. The crystal exploded into countless fragments of light. A deafening wave swept across the ruins. I closed my eyes. When the light faded, thousands of glowing figures surrounded us. Men, women, children. Every forgotten second male lead smiled peacefully. One stepped forward. Thank you. Another bowed. We're finally free. Their chains dissolved into golden dust. One by one, they disappeared into the morning sky. I smiled through quiet tears. You can finally go home. The Shadow King fell to his knees. My stories. They're over, I replied. No. They'll finally belong to the people living them. The world trembled once more. Far beyond the ruins, destiny itself shattered. Invisible chains broke across the kingdom. For the first time, everyone stood free to choose their own future. Isabella approached me slowly. Tears filled her eyes. I understand now. I looked at her. The love I believed in. She lowered her head. Was built on your suffering. It wasn't your fault. I'm still sorry. I know. She smiled sadly. I hope one day we both find real happiness. I believe we will. Leon stepped beside us. I can't stay here anymore. Where will you go? He laughed softly. I don't know. For the first time, that's my decision. Marcus smiled. I'll rebuild the Royal Knights. No more blind obedience. Only justice. Serena folded her arms. Evelyn and I have centuries of damage to repair. Evelyn grinned. We'll be busy. Everyone slowly walked toward their own future. I remained where I was. The rising sun warmed my face. Once, I had begged to return home. Now I finally understood something. Home wasn't the place where I was born. Home was the place where I was free. I smiled at the endless horizon. Once, I was the pathetic second male lead who lived only for someone else's happiness. Now, I was simply Adrian, the author of my own ending. My story no longer belonged to destiny. It belonged to me alone.